Good morning. Oh my. Oh, we have a good crowd today. This is good. Good, good, good. Good morning, everyone. Oh, it's so good to see you all. Good morning, Tanya.
Good morning. Is it morning?
It is morning. I know.
I went out
You,
last night. I didn't get home till like 2 in the morning.
did you celebrate? Because you
We
should.
had we had a good time, but it was like, oh my God, I'm not used to that. Like I haven't been out in forever. So coming home at 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, I'm like, what? Wait a minute. And my
Oh
body
my God.
automatically wakes up at 5 like it normally does. I'm like, no, sleep in, sleep in. It didn't happen. So I'm
Good
on
for
3 hours
you.
sleep right now. I'm like, oh my
But you're
God.
here. You're
Yes,
here. See, that's what
yes. I
matters.
always come.
Right on. I
Hi,
love that.
Monica. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh,
All
you were
right.
out late too, huh?
Yeah, and I'm not. Yeah, I don't leave the house. So that's kind of crazy. Like be out partying or anything. But we had a good time. Okay, I just have to share before everybody gets on. Anybody watch The Voice right now? Because I don't. I didn't. But The Voice is playing right
No,
now.
have
The
not
show.
then.
Oh
I
well,
don't think I'm watching it right now. No.
yeah, two of the contestants on Legend's group team were there
Mhm.
last night and performed, and they were super good.
No
Super,
way.
super good. Yeah, I got pictures and stuff. Super fun, super
Oh my
good.
God.
Yeah,
How did
they're
you
they're
work
like
that? Did you
actually
know that or did you
no,
just?
no, I didn't know they were going to be there. I
Oh
had no
my
idea.
God.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that was
so
kind of neat to
cool.
meet them and
Yeah.
they talked about their experience and they sang. They gave a full-on concert like type thing. It was super good.
Wow. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
One
All
guy
right.
is black and one guy's Hispanic. It was super cool.
I'm gonna duck out. I'm gonna just grab my glasses. I'll be right back.
Huh?
Okay. Got the
You know
big
what,
car.
Tanya? Just keep going and having a good time until,
Yeah.
while you can. Because I'm finding that what is that? There's a cutoff point. At some point, you're gonna be like, that's not happening. I'm not leaving the
Oh,
house after nine.
I'm already at that point. Like I haven't been out in 5 years. Like I'm literally like, nah, I'm playing. I don't want to go out. I'll stay home and I'm watching television with the bonnet on. Yeah, no. Usually I don't go anywhere, but
If you
this
can
was
manage
fun.
it, go have fun.
Yeah, but it was fun. I'm happy I went. It was fun to get dressed up and have a good time. So
Good morning, guys.
okay.
I'm
Hi, good
here. I'm working
morning.
though, so I'll be listening.
Okay,
So,
sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good, Phil.
already.
Hi,
Thank you.
Chastity. I don't see you, but hi.
Yeah, I got to put my face on there at one point.
Good
Okay.
Good morning, everybody.
morning.
I
Good
think
morning.
everybody had a late night, huh? I came in from Vegas last night.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. How did that
Yeah,
go?
it was super fun. It was super
Oh,
fun.
good
So,
for you. Good for
yeah,
you.
thank you, Tanya.
That is good. Vegas is always fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a little date with me and my husband because my daughter went to the Level Up Expo. So,
Hmm.
my husband and I just kind of hang out there and find
Was it
stuff.
crowded? I heard Vegas is getting like really
Oh, it was
slow.
crazy. Really? No, it was crazy
I was
crowded. You know
busy.
what?
Oh,
Maybe
good.
actually, I take that back. The rooms were crazy expensive, and I thought it had to be because they were sold out, but maybe
Hmm.
it's because they were slow. I don't know. That's a
Yeah, I
good
heard it's
point.
slow. I heard MGM is firing like all their staff, like
Hmm.
their valets and the concierge and cutting back all over
Mm.
the place.
That
Yeah.
makes sense because oddly, I thought to myself like it wasn't crazy busy. I looked at Gabe and I said, "Is something going on?" Because it wasn't crazy busy, like sold out busy.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think you're right.
Yeah. This is slowing down out there. There's our Ashley, our new agent.
that's
Yay!
right. Hey,
Morning.
Francine, thanks for coming too.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So proud of you.
So, question, what did you do to celebrate? Because you know what? I remember thinking back to when I got my license and I realized I didn't do anything special to celebrate. And I'm
Yeah,
like kicking myself
yeah.
now, thinking, I can't believe I didn't do anything special to celebrate.
And see, okay, so I haven't done anything official to celebrate. I'll say I got welcomed home by my family dancing in the driveway, and they decorated for me in the house and
Oh.
had flowers and a card and dinner waiting
Oh.
for me. So that was cool, and I was grateful just to be able to like celebrate the win with the family because they saw me working so hard towards it.
Mhm.
So that
That's
was cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that felt cool. But yeah, we're on our way as we speak right now to the Natural History Museum because I've never been there and I wanted to go. So
Nice.
Where's that?
yeah,
I
pardon?
love that.
Which
Yes.
city?
Hey.
In
Where?
LA?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I heard that's a really nice one. I think I went back
Yeah.
on a field trip with my daughter once.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you usually go as a kid, and I've never gone,
Hmm.
and I've always wanted to go. And our
Oh,
anniversary was on Thursday, and we didn't do anything, so all the family, we're all going.
that's
So,
awesome.
Love that.
yeah,
Such a great thing
I
to
love
do.
museums. Love the
Yeah.
museums.
And then for the kids are watching mom and dad learn in at their
Mhm.
age,
exactly,
which
exactly,
teaches them there's never a date that you cut off learning. I mean,
Right.
exactly.
there's so many good things to that.
And I already
Yeah.
told him I was like, if I cry when I see the dinosaur bones, just don't look at me. Just keep. It's okay. Just
It's a great museum. It's really
He's a
nice down
true
there.
artist, I
It's real cool
swear.
down there.
People who
Yeah.
cry a lot are true artists.
Oh, definitely cry.
All right, well, let's get going. I am so excited to see you all here because we're talking about a topic that is so important. And in honor of our newest licensed agent, I really wanted to wrap May around being a new agent because it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. There's no wrong time to go over this stuff, you know? It's kind of like going back to basics. What do we do every day? How do we build our business? And I think no matter how long you've been in the business, you kind of struggle with, okay, I'm real estating. Where do I start? And this will give you a guide to where to start, how to organize your business in a way that there's no thinking involved. You'll just go to your dashboard. Your dashboard will tell you what you're supposed to do today. And I don't know if you're aware, but we have been struggling trying to find a CRM, which means customer relationship management software, um, to for all of you to use. That's not going to kill you financially, and that will be at the level you're at. Right. So I did find through all my searching, I found a great product, and we're going to, starting next week, or the week after, we're going to do a deep dive and we're going to just show, tutorials, and I'll send you stuff on how to use it. And once you get this set up, it's going to be a no-brainer. You're just going to log in and it'll tell you who you need to follow up with, who your next client's going to be, and it's going to organize your real estate life, and it's going to make your real estating a lot less time consuming, because how much time do we really spend figuring out what we're supposed to be doing today?
Mhm.
Really. So this is going to clean up a lot of that. It's going to make it really easy for you to really do the things that you're trained to do. The relationship building, the following up, the connecting, all of that stuff. So that you can really get down to making those connections and signing those contracts, because that's what this is all about. We're just getting to signing the contract. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the CRM. We're not going to go into specifics. I will tell you who I decided on, and it's HubSpot. HubSpot is a very strong, it's an older company, and their packages start at $15 a month. And you are going to use the $15 package probably your entire career. There is no reason that you need to buy anything more expensive than that. And any broker who tells you is getting a cut of the action. I learned early on how to, I was talking to a broker, and they said, you need to turn your agents into your customers and just sell them all kinds of crap. And that's how you do well as a broker. And I'm looking at that person going, no, no, that sounds very not right to me. So what I try and do is find affordable solutions for my agents so that, it's not killing you financially. I'm not going to be the one that tells you you have to go buy coaching, you have to go buy leads, you have to go buy. I'm the one that says don't ever pay for a lead. Learn how to generate your own leads. So anyway, with that, I'm going to go ahead and start. We're going to talk about why a CRM, what the purpose is. Let me get to my notes here. And yeah, so we're going to understand what a CRM is and why it's critical to real estate. We're going to identify key CRM features that benefit you as a real estate agent. Learn how to organize, nurture, and convert leads using a CRM. And one of the hardest parts for me was this whole new language that we speak as a real estate professional. And I'm going to try and keep it, in real language. So what is nurturing a lead? All nurturing a lead means is developing a relationship with that person. You're just developing a relationship with that person. That's all that is. You're becoming friends. It's all stuff that you learned in kindergarten, how to make a friend, how to be a friend. And then what is converting a lead? All converting a lead is getting that signature, because that's why we do this. There's a lot of extras we get out that's not monetary. We make a lot of new friends. We have a lot of rich and great relationships. But for our business, it's about getting those signatures on our contracts. And then we're going to develop a basic action plan for daily CRM use, because that's the point. We use our CRM to organize our life, our business. Okay. So, okay. So what is a CRM? I already told you it's a customer relationship management system. Can I ask a question? Who here already uses a CRM in some fashion? Because as you know, you can use an Excel spreadsheet and that can be your CRM. So I have Monica. Monica, what CRM do you use?
Right now I'm using Wise Agent.
And how much?
But I'll check out HubSpot. I haven't played with them yet, and honestly, a lot of the features are very similar from one CRM to the other. So $15 is a pretty good price. I think the one I'm using right now is about 50.
50. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 40, 48 something. It's 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What I've learned in my research is that you can pay as much as you want.
Yeah.
Thanks.
There's just certain, the things that you find important from
Yeah.
one to the other. For me, the way the emails went out and how many to send and how they looked were really
Yeah.
important, and that one seemed to work. So,
Yeah. At one time, we were working with a company called iExact, and they would give the broker a free account, and then all the agents would pay for their account, which I thought was, a pretty good deal for me. But I don't remember. It seemed like it was a pretty good deal for the agents too. Do you remember how much that was, Monica?
I remember when I started with you, I hooked up with them and it was like $25 a month.
Yeah,
And
it
then it
wasn't bad.
slowly went higher and higher and higher. And then their features started to get less good, and some of the features dropped off, like texting, and it became not as good as other options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing we have to watch out for too. We start with one thing and once they get you in the door, then all of a sudden you need all these other features. And that's what I loved about HubSpot is that you can use a free plan. There is a totally free plan. And then if you want some more features, you pay $15. And what I noticed was the $15 plan was pretty good. It will get you through all the important things. All right. Anybody else use a CRM at this point? Is that it? Okay. That's it. Then I'm in the right place talking about the right thing. Okay. So, um, so the top agents anyone who's selling a lot of real estate has to use a CRM because there's really no other way that you're going to be able to keep track of everything that's going on. I know Monica and Tanya have worked multiple transactions, and Chastity have worked multiple transactions at one time. When you're working multiple transactions and trying to still work your database, you have to have some sort of organizational tools. Otherwise, it's going to make you crazy. Even if you use a TC, you are trying to, oh, Rachel just showed up. Okay. You're trying to, keep track of dates, keep track of, your appointments that you're going to have anyway, because even if you're not in a transaction, you should be very busy. You should be meeting with people because there's people in your pipeline. And let me explain what a pipeline is. A pipeline is all the people that are on their way to your database that you're still talking to. Maybe you went to a networking event, you met somebody, you guys clicked, they did mention. Okay, I'm going to give you a real life example because I hate these theoretical ones, Okay, so Monica and I were at an event for a nonprofit, BWI, and we were hosting a booth about financial literacy. And we never pass up an opportunity to make a connection. Even when we're there for the nonprofit, we're still there as, real estate professionals. We're not going to abandon that ship just because we're there for another reason. So I literally had a lady walk up to me and said, I need to buy a house. I mean, she literally just said that. And so that person is somebody who's now, I mean, actually, I gave it to Monica because I try not to work with clients. But now that person's in Monica's pipeline. She will nurture that lead. She'll call that person, find out a little bit more about this house that this person needs to buy. What are the obstacles that are keeping her from buying right now? And then check in with her every whatever, based on her first conversation with this gal, she's going to determine how often she needs to check in with this person. And those are those soft skills that you build only by practicing them. You're not going to build those skills by sitting at home and thinking about it or reading about it or being on the computer and finding articles about it. No, the only way you're going to develop those skills is by using them. And let me tell you, the first few times you're going to fall on your face. You will fall on your face, but you have to get through those falling on your face ones before you get to the good ones. And the longer you wait to fall on your face, the longer you'll wait to get started in real estate. I'm just going to be real blunt. Yes, Monica.
Yeah, and on that same tone, the thing that I think the CRM is really good for when it comes to this is one, reminding you who you need to call and when, right? Because like that lady, yeah, I have a conversation with her and then I plan to talk to her again in, let's say, 2 weeks.
Right.
So I'm going to put it in there and it's going to remind me in 2 weeks, okay, she's on your call list today. Versus I put a note in my phone or maybe on my calendar and maybe I see it,
Yeah.
And if I do that, I still have to go somewhere else to look up her information. Well, if it's from the CRM, everything's there, including my notes about what we talked about.
Right.
But you end up having so many of those people that totally are not ready to do business with you right now. They know you're a real estate agent. You talked about real estate a little bit, but it's going to be like, keep in touch with them for the next 6 months to a year until they're ready or until they might need you. Or maybe they're a past client or just your sphere of influence people that you're not actually asking for business, but you're trying to stay in close contact with them regularly. I would never remember.
No, there's no possible way.
When I'm supposed to contact them and how many times I've contacted them before and details about who their spouses, who their kids are. None of that. I would never remember that. I'm lucky if I remember their name.
Right. Right.
Right. And that's to me, that's like the golden thing that it does. It's like, yeah, you can send emails with it, you can do drip campaigns, all that stuff. But honestly, I don't even use it for that.
Mm-mm. No.
I
Drip
literally just use
campaigns
it
are
as my, yeah, like the little person to tell
yeah.
me who am I calling.
Right. And honestly, when you're working real estate and you want to, let's say, close one transaction a month, which is kind of an average thing to do if you're a full-time person in real estate, one transaction a month. Um, if you want to do that, you have to be talking to at least 10 people at all times, and kind of checking in with them. Are you ready, now, or where are you at right now? And to keep all of that organized, you have to have a CRM of some sort, even if it is an Excel spreadsheet, because an Excel spreadsheet will keep track of those details about the person. And here's a tip, a little trick of the trade. Get their birthdays, because if nothing else, you can send them a birthday message or a birthday card, or, you can touch base with them on their birthday. But I would, if you want to be successful at all, is have at least 4 or 5 natural touch points. That's birthday, Christmas, 4th of July. If you sold them a house, then it's the anniversary of when they bought their house. And one more, you should have 5 natural touch points per person per year. That way you're at least touching base with them every 2.5 months. And, you know, if you've ever bought real estate, who did you pick and why did you pick them? You know why? Because they were in close proximity, top of mind. So that's our only goal, is stay close proximity, top of mind. And how do we do that? By checking in, by having coffee with them, by telling them happy birthday, by, all of these things. So when we talk about this, it's not just because, we want to be nice. No, this is our job. This is what we do. We don't sit around at home watching our computer or our TV and wait for someone to go, ding dong, I want to buy a house, because it does not work that way. That is not reality. And if you're doing that, then you're going to be waiting a long freaking time. And I have oh, go ahead.
And I'm sorry, one more thing, and then I promise I'll stop. Because what you're saying is like, I know I've heard this so many times before from you and from so many other people who are telling you how to be a good real estate agent.
Yeah.
And I just want to stress to everyone, especially the newbies, or the ones, or those of you that are not really like full-time agents, that are just like trying to build it up. I so wish I had built up this skill like right from the get-go. It's such an important skill, using that CRM and following up with people regularly. I was terrible about this in the first few years because I got busy doing everything.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, you're so busy learning so many apps and programs and forms and skills and procedures that you feel like, well, I don't have time for all that CRM stuff. But it's literally the lifeblood
Oh my
of what
God,
you're
I was
doing
going to
every
say the
day.
same word.
And it's
Yeah.
it's like it's the most important skill in my opinion. The rest, everything else can wait.
Yeah.
So like, if there's one thing to focus on, it's this one. And I so wish I would have focused on it more from the beginning. So if any of you are at that stage, like, this is the thing to pay attention to. Okay, I'm done.
And well, I'm glad you said that, Monica, because there's no bad time to start doing this. Like, if you haven't started, so what? Do it now. There's no wrong time. And even experienced real estate agents that are closing, one a month, 2 a month, 3 months, whatever, they still need to be reminded of this, because the market changes. When the ebbs and the flows of the real estate market happen, what do? You have to go back to your database. Even if you are getting those natural calls, like, remember I said, I had to use a database a lot in the beginning, but now since I'm not actively looking for business, business still comes to me. I have 3 listings right at this moment. And those are because of the work I did before. So, you just kind of have to do it, first of all, and then manage your own business. If you start getting too many leads and too many people are calling you, well, then, sell your referrals to someone else, get an assistant to help you. There's a million things you can do about having too much business. But if you're not suffering with that problem, then get after it. Get after it. And what led us to this career anyway? What led me was I love talking to people. I love talking about houses. I love nurturing new relationships. I love meeting new people. And that was what drew me to this industry in the first place. If I told people what I actually do, that I talk to people and go to lunch and have coffee and chit chat on the phone, um, I think everybody would be terribly jealous that I can make money doing that. Did we lose that along the way? You know, or chit-chatting on the computer on social media. I mean, that's part of it. That's part of my freaking job. I mean, how many people can say that? That's like, it's like the perfect job. It's like you can make money doing that. And so I think if you take the stuff that you love to do and organize it just a little bit with a CRM, then all of a sudden the thing you love to do and the organization is just going to turn into business. So it's just about continuing to do the thing you love, but do it in a way that is organized and has some sort of goal at the end. Okay. Oh, what time is it? 10 o'clock. Is Scott here? I do not see him. Okay, so I guess we're not going to have an update. So I'm just going to go through this. So why is it essential? I think we already kind of talked about that, but let me go through this list here. So you're going to capture and organize leads. What the hell is a lead? A lead is a person. You're going to capture and organize the people that you meet. So, for example, Monica and I were at this event. We met 85 people. We got 85 people's phone numbers. So what's the next step? We would put them into a CRM. So what does that look like? It looks like me taking the name and opening my CRM and adding new, just putting them in. And what I love to do is when I get a new lead, I love to do my detective work and find out all about this person. And there's so many tools that allow us to do that now. So when I'm putting the person's name in, I can do a quick search on social media, or that, do they have an Instagram? And just do this fun little investigative work. And then anything that I remember about that person, I'm going to add it in there. And what is my first communication with them going to look like? Well, I think thanking them for coming to that event, even though it wasn't a real estate event, just saying, hey, it was great meeting you, because I didn't meet anyone I hated meeting. So if I said I loved meeting them, I'm telling a truth, right? And then what we got were names and phone numbers, right? So I'm going to do this how? In a text message. Because do people like getting random phone calls from strangers? No, they do not. So I'm going to send a text message to every one of these people, and I'm going to tell them how nice it was to meet them at this event. That's my first communication. My second communication is I don't know, is probably going to be something around, so remember, back a couple of months, I talked about organizing these leads that you get. So when we don't know anything about them, we just met them, we don't know their real estate needs, they're called starts with a P, prospect. So a prospect is just somebody we met, somebody, or a prospect can be a family member that you don't know what their real estate needs are. So the only thing making a prospect different from a lead is that a lead, you know, they need real estate services in some fashion, right? They either need to sell, buy, maybe they just need a copy of their deed. You know, it could be anything real estate related. Maybe they're looking to lease a property, you know, anything real estate related. That makes them a lead. So, but as somebody we just met or family members, I think when you're setting up your CRM, you should look everywhere. Your phone, your email contact lists, if you're old fashioned, you have a book with people's names and addresses in them. You look everywhere. You dig under the couch for little scraps of paper where you wrote people's names and addresses on. You start anywhere and everywhere, and you just start typing in names. And I love this process. I particularly don't like having somebody do that for me because I love doing that, because every person I put in, then I'm going to do my little investigative research. And if they're on social media, I'm just going to go ahead and connect with them. And what I'm going to do when I'm putting them in, I'm going to also connect with them. If I haven't ever connected with them, I'm going to take that opportunity to say, hey, what's up? And if it's what I usually find is that I find people that I haven't connected with in months. So I take this opportunity to say, hey, it's been a long time. Let's meet up for coffee, you know? And so just going through that process is, I find it fun to, you know, reconnect with people. And how many people should you be working with at one time, having coffee, talking to, having lunch? I'd say about 10. You should always be working with 10 people at one time. And if you do have lunch with that person and you find out, you know what, they just bought a house, they don't need real estate services at this time, then guess what they are? They're a fan. They're a fan. And so what do you do with fans, people that don't need your services? You make darn sure they hear from you at least once a month in I don't know, a newsletter, a market update, anything. You could call it anything you want, but you should always have something touching those folks once a month. Nothing less than once a month. Nothing less. Because what do you have to be? Top of mind. Top of mind, close proximity. It should be easy to reach you, and you should be the first person they think of when they think real estate. Okay. So I think I gave you a lot to work with there. I don't want to run overtime. So does anyone have any questions? Please ask questions.
No questions, but I do have a tip for those of you that haven't yet started with the CRM,
Mhm.
and even as you go, because I found that I can't rely on myself to like input something in the CRM every single day right after a meeting, but I'll have the person on my phone, right?
Oh, good,
Have their
good,
contact
good.
information on my phone because I called them or I got their info when I was out or whatever. And I like to put them in my phone as well because then if they call, I see who it is right away
Right.
and I recognize it. But what I do on my phone for literally everyone is I put their entire name in the first name field. And in the last name field, I put either seller, buyer, investor, agent, lender, whatever they are, right?
Smart.
And if they're already a homeowner, I just put in their seller. They're eventually going to sell someday. Maybe when they die. I don't know, but it's going to happen someday. If they haven't bought a home yet, then they're a buyer.
Right, right.
Right? I mean, that's if you think of them like that already, and every time you pick up the phone and you see their name and you see seller, well, then now you it kind of jogs your memory. Oh, they already own,
Yeah.
you know?
It's kind of like gives
So,
you that little bit of information so that they're not feeling like a stranger. That's
yeah, I
brilliant.
find that really, really helpful when people call back or when, because a lot of times you cannot reach people. You're going to leave a voicemail. So they're going to call you back.
Right.
And if they're already on your phone with their name and who they are, then
Mhm.
it alerts you. That's especially helpful with agents too. Anybody you're calling and speaking to on a regular basis, like for a transaction or something like that.
Yeah.
Definitely do that for agents or escrow people, things like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was just a tip.
That's a great tip. And, we can't be expected to carry our laptop or whatever around and say, okay, wait, I have to put you in my CRM. So having a depository or a place that you put them until you do sit down and enter into your CRM is brilliant, no matter how you do it. I love your technique, but, you could do it any way you like. You can put it in the notes section of your phone, whatever, just grab their information. For me, what I would do is grab it, and then when I get up the next morning and I do my 2 hours of database work, which is a good habit to get into, when I do my 2 hours of database work, I'm going to enter their name in, and that's when I will plan the next whatever. Am I going to invite them to a networking event? Am I going to say, hey, what are you doing tomorrow afternoon? I'd like to buy you coffee. Or you remember something that you needed to get back with them on. A lot of times they give you a lot of clues when you're talking to them. They'll say, I'm looking for a new yard guy. So just find a yard guy for them, and then get back to them. But, a relationship is a, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, B, A. It's back and forth. And so if this person, throws the ball to you and you duck and hide, well, they're going to go away. So it's always got to be, an equal amount of. Now, what we find too is like we'll, we throw the conversation their way and they'll go away. But if that happens, be prepared to have a goodbye message, don't let them just disappear. Make sure that you say, oh, I understand that this isn't the right time for you. Feel free to call back or get back with me if it ever does happen. Don't just let them disappear. Let them, you have the last word, let them know that you still are here. Because quite honestly, there's people that I don't get back to because at that time, I just don't have time to think about that subject or that whatever what they're offering. So yeah, good
And
tip, Monica.
in that back and forth, if you create a reason to get back to them with
Yeah,
something they mentioned, something they asked about, and you have a reason to call them back and give them something useful, give them something helpful, or just like, I don't know, make their morning because you called and said happy birthday or whatever, you know.
yeah,
um it's the best opportunity to also ask for them to give you something back, especially if there's someone that you're not going to do business with right now. If it's somebody
right.
who just moved or who absolutely is not going to sell or buy in the near future, that's the time to kind of ask for them, okay, how about you give me something now? And you can say things like, well, that's great, and I really, really are trying to help as many people as possible this year. Do you know anybody else that I could give this information to as well? Do you know anybody that I could help that might need some help with, with real estate or with moving? Or do you know anybody that also needs a gardener? Or whatever, it's the time to kind of put something back on them, and then they feel like, well, if she just did something nice for me, I'll do something nice for her back.
Yeah,
So that, I know you mentioned that before, that
that's a
people,
human thing. That's a
they're more willing
human
to do
thing.
it then
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
you just did something nice. And so I think that's the one thing that probably would help the most with people who aren't going to be working with you, and that, but you're still staying in touch with them.
You
And
have to.
that's how you ask for the
Yeah.
the referral without actually asking for the referral.
Or two, here's another, just to add on to what you're saying, because that's really good information. Nobody is and I don't want to make this sound really ugly, but there's nobody that you're not going to want to connect with. If they don't need real estate services right now or ever, you still want to have a relationship with that person. You still want to, be friends with them. And because those are your sales force. Those are the people that are going to go sing your praises. They're going to tell their neighbors and their friends. You know, isn't it ugly when somebody comes up to you and says, "Can I sell you life insurance?" And you say, "No, thank you." And then even if you hit it off with them, they never connect with you again. Like all you were worth was a sale, and we're not that kind of person. Um, so, there's no reason to throw anyone away. You want to still nurture that relationship, still be friends with them because maybe you can be helpful to them. We're all in this together, and we cannot afford to be rude or uncaring or dismissive with anyone. We need every person, whether it looks like it or not. So we don't discard anyone. And as far as them being your fans, um, everyone say
Trina says
yes.
yes.
Say yes. Yes. Um, when it comes to those people and everyone else, don't be afraid to say what you need. I learned this from one of our agents who is always saying exactly what she needs. And a day later, 2 days later, boom, it comes because that's how humans work. If I said to a group of people, I need, I don't know, a glass of water, I'll bet you someone will bring me a glass of water because that's who we are. We're humans and we take care of each other. We're communal animals. We want to take care of one another. So don't be afraid to say to the people that you know are never going to be clients, just say to them, I need to open 3 escrows this month. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but that's what I need. And I'll bet you money. I'll bet you a lot of money that that person is going to try and help you because that's who we are. If I said to you, Monica, I really need, uh, I don't know, I can't think of anything, but like if I really need to find a
So,
a
someone to box up.
renter or whatever,
Yeah.
you would go out to your community and see if you could find a renter for me. It's our nature. That's as humans, that's what we do. So I want you to do an experiment this month or this week. Use it as an experiment. Just start talking about what you need and say to whoever you run into, look, I need to open 3 escrows this month and see if that changes anything. If it changes nothing, then whatever, you've lost nothing. But I'll guarantee you it's going to change something. If you know what you need and you voice what you need, you'll get what you need. It's a little bit phenomenal, but it actually does work that way. So don't be afraid to say what you need exactly in specific terms. Not that, oh, I really need to make more money. That's very vague, and nobody's going to be able to help you with that because what can they do? Give you a job? I don't know what they might give you a job, I guess, but be specific. I really need to find someone who's looking to sell their house this week. Start voicing it to everyone you know. And, that's really the bottom line of your CRM. If you start there, look, I have 50 contacts. Today, I'm going to let them know that I really need to find a seller. I really need to sign a listing contract this week. If you told all 50 of those people, they would jump in to help you. Even if it's not them, they'd say, you know what, my neighbor, I saw him talking to a realtor. Hit him up. Here's his number. People want to help you. Let them.
Bobby, can I add on something? Um,
Yes, you're the
everyone,
magical one.
oh God, everyone already has, I'll say 100 people in their phone alone right now. I know I have way more than that, but I know everyone has at least 100 contacts between your friends and family.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong, and especially for Ashley, she's starting new, but there's nothing wrong for anybody to remind our families that we're in this business. I don't know why they forget. I don't know. They'll go
They
do the
do.
neighbor, get the neighbor or go to Keller Williams or go here. But here I am, your cousin or your family member. And then when I see you in the house signs up there, they're like, why didn't you call me? Like, oh, I didn't remember you did that. Oh, I didn't. And that's no one else's fault but our own. So what I used to do is when I first started, I went and it was thousands. And there was like, I don't know if this CRM does it, but you can send out text messages. If not, there's an app I can give you too that you would put that in there, and it takes the numbers out of your phone, and it sends out you can go to chat, get you a nice letter just saying, hey, just a reminder, I am your local realtor of this area or whatever, and it send out a text, and it's amazing. It's amazing,
Yeah.
and you'll get that one or two. It might be you're not going to get 50. You might get like one or two people, but one or two deals, or I'll take it all day.
Yeah.
you know.
Really, how many do you need to work at a time? Just
Yeah,
one.
exactly. One
Just
or two,
one. Yeah.
So
You know,
I mean, because I know
yeah.
people are like, oh, I need to buy leads. Do not buy leads. I need to, you can get them from, our title companies and things like that. But the best start, the first you can start today while it's raining or whatever. Go in there and start putting in your CRM from your phone or get an app or something that helps you
Yeah.
send out directly from your phone.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better
Can I
myself.
ask, for those of you that are not already using a CRM, why? Why have you not started doing that? Or, I mean, there's lots of different reasons. Maybe you didn't find the right one, money, you're not
Mm.
sure how to use it. I'm just curious.
And if anybody needs a free one, if they're in the associations, you can get it from the MLS through Lions Desk. So there's
Yep,
No,
that's not
no, I'm
expensive.
sorry. They discontinued it.
they
They
did.
did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a bummer.
No.
oh,
I know you
that's a
can still get
bummer.
it, but it's just not free.
It's not free anymore.
So
Oh,
that's
boo.
why I went to HubSpot, and I really like HubSpot. It's you can open it up and start using it immediately.
Hmm.
There's a lot of tutorials in there, and that's what I wanted to do next week is just go through the tutorials. If you want to sit and play with it today and just start, adding people in, make yourself a goal too. I I remember when I was working real estate, I would say, this today I have to put in 5 new contacts. Every day I have to put in 5 new contacts. At one time I was meeting one new person a day. And I did that for almost a year. And that really filled up my CRM. And I was working a lot of deals and I made a lot of money that way. But set your own goals for yourself, and if you need some guidance as to how many is the right number, start with 5. This week I'm going to add 5 new people to my CRM. That's one person every weekday. You're going to meet a new person. I would start off by doing exactly what Tanya said and enter everyone that everyone you have their information. You don't even have to have complete information. Maybe you just have a name and a phone number or a name and an address. It doesn't matter because you're going to contact them the way that they are allowing you to contact them. If all you have is a mailing address, you're going to mail them something. I mean, let's just
Hmm.
get right down to the
A phone number is a text message. It's just a
uh-huh.
touch. It's just a touch.
Yeah.
And I
Cinco
don't
de
know about
Mayo
the
is
rest of you
coming, and
guys, but that's one of the major reasons why I didn't start using it a lot in the beginning, was because to me the idea of putting everybody I know into a database sounded very daunting. I was like, I don't want to do that.
I
That's
like to
going
say
to take
5 a day.
5,000
5
million
people a day.
years,
Yeah.
and one, I thought it would take too long, and two, it just seemed like it's such a chore. And
It's worth it.
it's okay to do, like Bobby says, 5 a day or 10 a day, and start with the people that are closest to you, and then work your way out of that. And once they're in there, then you can start creating your reminders for how you're going to follow up with them and what you're
Mhm.
going to do
Right,
while with them in there. But
right,
first it's just about getting them in there, and it
right.
can take a long time. So, like, it's okay to do a little bit at a time. That's fine.
I'm I'm gonna share a story. My first 3 deals were as a spirit influence, like through my phone, whatever. And I think it was my second deal, or my first or second deal was my ex-husband and his wife.
Mhm. Yeah.
Who knew that he was going to answer my text and say, "Oh yeah, we want to sell our house, and I
Yeah.
want you to do it." I was like,
Yeah.
"What?"
That's
Everybody
so
could not believe it.
true.
They're like, "You're selling your ex-husband's house with his wife?" And I'm
Yeah.
glad we were friends anyway, but still, it was just
Yeah.
crazy to everybody. They're like, "Really?"
Yeah.
He was on the list. I just sent the text
Exactly.
out, and he came
Yeah.
back and said, "Oh, we're thinking about selling. Of course, we'll use you." I'm like, "What?" I would have never, even if he did, if any do that, I would have never got that deal. And it was in Beaumont, and it was nice, and it was worth it. It's a
That's
big check.
happened to
So
me too. Like the people I don't expect to ever get back to me, they do, and
mm,
you're like, oh wow,
yeah,
it's a good confidence booster too,
yes,
just to
it
know
is.
that they think of you that way, as
Yeah.
competent and capable. So I don't want to keep you too long. We're already over time, but I do want to leave you with this. Please, and I'm not begging you, so I'm not saying please. As I don't know why I said that. Um, as a good way to set yourself up for success, designate a time to sit down with your database and work your database. That's really all you're doing is entering names in, making connections with those people, and making a plan for connecting with them in the future at regular intervals. Um, if that looks like 1 hour a day, great. If it looks like 2 hours a day, wonderful. If it looks like 30 minutes a day, awesome. The 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 object here is to designate time. I have this kind of this thing that really irritates me is when people say, I'm going to work real estate in my spare time. Do we have spare time? I mean,
Nope.
really, I have no spare time. I have no spare time. If I'm going to do anything in my spare time, it's not getting done. That's kind of like an excuse. Yeah, I'll do it in my spare time. It's like having spare money.
I
Not
have a
your
question.
spare money.
There's no such
So
thing.
you have to be intentional, and I
Mm,
hate even using that word because it's used a lot, but you have to be. You have to set aside that time for you to succeed. I have I want to let you know that Misha has left the building. He was trying to do real estate in his spare time, and now he's no longer doing real estate. So if you don't have the time for it, there's nothing wrong with ducking out and saying goodbye. I think it's better to be honest with yourself than to, you know, say, oh, well, I'm going to do it. Just, I haven't had the time. Well, did you make the time? No? Well, of course you're not going to have it if you never set the time aside. It's not a spare time endeavor. Okay. That's what I really want to just get that point across. So, having said
Trina,
that,
Trina, you had a question?
oh, I'm
Ye-
sorry.
Yeah, yes, Monica and Bobby. I just want to know what is the difference if I use CRM as an Excel sheet versus the HubSpot? What is the difference?
Well, the difference is that the HubSpot is going to give you different tools. So you're going to be able to create an email and include you can sort through your contacts and only include sellers, ones that you've tagged seller, and create it. It is a time saver, really, because you can do the exact same thing in an Excel spreadsheet. You can have tags. You can, when you're setting them up, you can put name, address, phone number, email address. Are they a seller? Are they a buyer? When is their birthday? You can have as many fields as you want. It's almost exactly the same. It's just about, the ease at which you can sort and send emails.
I'm pretty good in Excel, so that's why I just want to know what is the difference. What is like automatic reminder or
Yeah.
mhm,
anything at all?
Yeah,
mhm.
there is automatic reminders.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's just the
If you guys
tool.
are ever curious about any CRM, just Google it and watch a YouTube video explaining
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
features, and it'll give you a really quick out overview of the program. And
Hmm.
that's a good way to kind of see the difference between them, and Trina, for you to gauge whether that's worth 10, $15 a month versus, using Excel. If you're a pro with Excel, girl, do it
I
No,
think
Excel.
but I have
I
all
think
my tenants lesson Excel already, so I don't want to redo it
No,
on
oh,
the.
you don't have to redo it. You
It's
can get
important.
a You
You can
can zip it
import.
over and from one import it from one
Yeah.
end to the other.
Okay.
It takes
Yeah.
like no
They
time.
all let you import. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
easy, very easy to send every. If you have it on an Excel sheet, is even better. It's faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, I
Thank
know
you.
Yeah.
Trina is a very, very smart when it comes to anything computer. So I would imagine that her Excel works better than any one of our CRM. So yeah, if it's working for you, Trina, don't change.
I do
I
have
want.
two tenants. They just keep saying, I'm ready to buy a house. You want to come and talk? And then when I reach out to them and they say, oh, today is not a good day. And
Yeah,
they just keep doing that. And I just keep calling them. Of
yeah,
course, I
Yeah,
come
there
to
you go.
see them every month, but, I'm patiently waiting.
yeah. Yeah, and that's the reason that you would have them in your CRM is just to, keep that reminder going. And don't be afraid to reach outside, add people to your CRM. If the same
Yes.
people are giving you the same answer, try new people.
The,
Yeah.
the, the reason I want them to buy a house because I want to sell that house.
Uh, Get out. No, I was kidding.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And you don't want to have to make them. You want it to be
Yeah,
their idea.
Exactly,
I
right?
love it.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
Bobby,
great.
I want to touch on one thing when you said about a part-time agent.
Yeah.
I'm technically a part-time agent, but I'm not. Because I have my escrow job. I'm your guys'
Right.
escrow officer.
Yeah.
I'm literally like yesterday. I literally was working my escrow job, and we did amazing things in escrow yesterday.
Yeah.
And then I know, and then I was also working, signing up, getting a new listing up. So even if you've got a part-time job, or another job, and this is your part-time thing, you don't treat it as part-time. You're at your lunch hours. That's the time you have 1 hour lunch. If that's the time that you can put in your 5 names in your CRM, get your tuna sandwich and put that stuff in your CRM. It's how determined you are to make this career work for you. When
Yeah.
people ask me what I do, I say I'm an escrow manager and a realtor. I'm not a part-time realtor. I'm an escrow agent manager and a realtor. Those are my careers. That's what I do. So it's up to what you determine for yourself of saying, oh, did you say part time? And that's what how much effort you're going to put in, part time
Right.
effort. If you say I'm a realtor and I work, at IBM, whatever you do, that's what you do. And those are the two things. But you're going to put the same effort into both jobs. And then sometimes I'm up at 5 in the morning working escrow, so I can have time for my sales. When I'm doing I've done a deal when I was working with you guys. I closed a file. I'm working with my investor, working with my buyer, and I also helped her with, selling the property. I'm all over the place, but it just depends on what you want to do and how much you allocate your time, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
and
I
then kind of
love
stick
how
your
you
family owned
said
stuff in
that.
there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
worked a full-time job and did real estate together.
You can do it.
Well,
Yeah,
the
I hate
thing
when
is,
people say
when
you
you're in a
can't.
transaction, you can't say, "Oh, I'm only going to work from my lunch hour. I'm only going to work after work."
I
When you get a phone call,
juggle it.
I had to walk away from whatever I was doing and take a phone call. You
Yeah.
know, so
Rachel
Well,
is a good example of somebody who did a full-time job and she worked her real estate
you can do it.
100%, 100%. Nobody
when
had
you're in a
any
transaction, that's the
idea.
only way you can do it.
Right.
Yeah, you
Nobody
do.
had any idea that she was doing things on her lunch hour. All they knew is that Rachel was their 100% real estate agent.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
and that's the perfect, I mean, it was a perfect way to present that.
Yeah, my investor didn't even know I worked an escrow job. He had no
Mhm.
idea. He just thought I
Yeah.
was a 100% realtor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't disclose it. I didn't need to, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, so it's an attitude. That's all.
Mhm. All right, so this week we're gonna do some experiments. We're going to let people know what you need. You're going to set some goals for yourself, and you're gonna decide how much time you're gonna dedicate every day, every day, even if it's 30 minutes, you're gonna decide how much time you're going to dedicate to real estate and uh, and let your people know what you need. If you need to open an escrow, if you need to find a buyer, if you need to find a seller, let people know that, and we'll see how that works next week. All
Okay.
right, everyone. Oh, I did want to mention one other thing. We are starting teams. Yay! So what I want from each of you, team leads are Monica, Tanya, and Chaz.
Mhm.
You are team leads. For everybody else, tell me which team you would like to be on. And we're gonna do our best to make sure that everybody gets what they want. So if you could text me, email me, whatever, just let me know which team you would like to be. And we're going to start that May 1st. Okay. All right. Any questions before we go? All righty. Then y'all have a wonderful weekend. Stay busy and start those CRMs. All right.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Bobby.
guys. Bye.
All right.
Have a
Thank
Thank
good
you
you.
weekend.
guys.
Bye.
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 Have a good weekend, you guys.
Bye.